morning, this is Andrew from Fleet Freedom. I'm going to walk you through today how to migrate your Fleet Freedom version 3 account into a Fleet Freedom version 4 beta account. All you need is a web browser. I recommend using Google Chrome and a Fleet Freedom version 3 username and password, preferably one that has administrative access. Also, you simply go to beta.fleetfreedom.com/migrate, and when I hit enter here, it of course fills the rest in for you. So all you have to do now is type in your Fleet Freedom username and password. I've created a demonstration account to do this migration process, so I'm just going to type in vehicle demo, which is the username that I've created in our version 3 system. I'm going to type in my password that I've created, and yes, I have read and understood the terms and conditions, and sign in. From there, you can choose the account that you want to migrate. This is useful if you do manage more than one account in our system. If you only have one account, simply click on the green bar here, and what you'll see is essentially 4 options. First is users, so this is where you'll migrate each user. Second would be the name of each fleet that you have in our system. Devices, and lastly places, which are essentially zones and locations from the version 3 system, now get converted into places. Starting with users, each user that has a version 3 username and password will get created as a version 4 user if you so choose. All you have to do is check the checkbox beside email address and type in the personal email address of that user. Fleet Freedom version 4 works off of email addresses for usernames, not typical usernames like we did in version 3. And then you can simply assign a role. So I only have a single user here. So vehicle demo will be converted into contact us at fleetfreedom.com, and this is an administrator type role. Next, I can choose a color for each fleet that I'm going to import. So the mobiles fleet and the vehicles fleet will get imported as green and blue fleets in version 4. With assets, I can choose people or vehicles. So I have a bit of a combination of both here. I have 2 mobile phones, one called Andrew Dispatch and one called S5 LBS. So for Andrew Dispatch, I'm going to create a new person called Andrew. And for S5 LBS, I'm going to create a new person called S5 LBS. For the vehicles, I'm going to leave them unchanged. But with everything in this import wizard, you can see that you can choose to import something or not just by checking the checkbox. So very simple and straightforward. When we get to places, we automatically will assign a color, which is the closest color to the version 3 zone or location that you had stored. So I'm going to import everything except for Saint-Ambroise and the Track Montreal office. I'm going to import these 4 zones as these 4 locations or places, as we call it now, in version 4. When I hit submit, this is going to happen very fast. It's just going to take you through step by step what we're doing in the migration process, and then it's going to say done, then the box will go away. So I'm going to hit submit here and allow it to just go through that process. When it's done, essentially every user that you've put in that has an email address will receive an email from our system with their temporary password. The temporary password is also listed here, and you can of course print that list. My suggestion is, maybe print that to a PDF file so that you can hold on to it for later. Because I already know what my username and password is, I'm just going to cut and paste this into a new window. To access version 4, simply type in v4beta.fleetfreedom.com, and if you type that in, it'll take you to this username and password driven site here. It of course has different language preferences. If you're in Quebec, it'll automatically default to French based on the IP address, and same is true if you're in the United States or in the rest of Canada. So my email address, contact us at fleetfreedom.com, and then the password that I've chosen and all I have to do is hit enter and I'm into the version 4 system. So right off the bat you can see I have 2 people-based assets, one that's called Andrew Dispatch and one that's presently called S5LBS. And then I have 4 vehicle-based assets. So the map works a lot like the way that it did in version 3. The user interface is obviously quite different. If I click on places at the bottom here, you can see the different places that I've chosen have all imported, and they look essentially the same as they did in version 3. So great, we're now in the version 4 system. You can go and play around, have a little bit of fun, and be sure to check back to www.fleetfreedom.com regularly. Under the resources page, we will have more how-to videos to use our version 4 system. Thanks very much for watching the video. Have a great day.